Hello, my name is Anjani Segrist, and today I'm talking about personal magnetism. So, within each individual, there is feminine and masculine, and we get that to have the yang active force, we also need to have the yin, which is the receptive, quiet, calm, receiving type of energy, which is the yin. The yang is the active, out there, loud, big sort of energy. And we get that we have those both within us. I think that's common knowledge at this point. Yang has been sort of given to men as men are yang, and yin has been given to women as women are yin. The fact is that that's not true. Giving birth is one of the most yang things that humans can do. And women give birth. And the testicles of a man are some of the most yin qualities that a human can have. So we have both. And the way that we use them is going to be different. So in cultivating your own personal magnetism, one of the most important things is to recognize within yourself what qualities that you have that can be considered yin and what can be considered yang. So for women, we have been sort of given a certain set of activities, things we should like, things we should do. In our culture, mostly women of my age range, so I'm 37, and I realize that, the younger generation, my daughter, for instance, who's 13, has a completely different outlook. People who are older than me, I feel like it's even more hard wired into them to stick with and believe that really old paradigm that women are a certain way and that men are a certain way and that they have certain things that we just expect that they're going to do. So for increasing your personal magnetism, the very first thing that I recommend is getting in touch with your own inner feminine and inner masculine. And the way that has been most useful for me has been looking at astrology charts. So looking at Venus and Mars, So Venus for a woman is going to tell her inner feminine. And this chart, Venus is up here in Aquarius. And for the inner masculine, we look at Mars. And this person has Mars over here in Pisces. So I wrote a whole article, and I'll put the link at the bottom of this. So read that. I don't want to go through the whole steps of what is known as the sacred marriage, but definitely read the article. And it's a pretty quick little exercise to do. Once you know your characteristics of your inner feminine and inner masculine, you can begin to engage in a different way. And I call this the inner orgasm. When you're able to unite your feminine and your masculine within yourself, a whole new level of radiance happens. So that feeling you get when you're in love with somebody and you're, the initial shock or burst, like a volcano-like shock of passion and love and excitement with a new person. And you can have that on your own, because really what's happening when you meet with somebody and you sort of have this volcano of, nothing beats that. What I'm going to say is not to get rid of that. That's one of my favorite things, is meeting somebody new and having that explosion of just a merging and a uniting of two planets coming together and just making the third thing, which is, it's beautiful and wonderful. But what I am saying is that comes from within you. when you meet somebody, that feeling and emotion that comes out, it's been inside you all along, and it just took this other thing to sort of shake it up and bring it out. Doing the work of the sacred marriage, or uniting your inner feminine and inner masculine within yourself, once you have that relationship going, you can sit in meditation for 5 or 10 minutes and really get that going, where, using some of the tantric breathing techniques and exercises, you can basically have that feeling anytime you want. And when you're feeling that way, you walk out into the world and your magnetism is so huge that people cannot help but to notice you. Good things happen. You meet the right people. Oftentimes when I'm doing my own personal work, I'll finish and, go about my day and look at my emails, and people have bought packages online, or they've signed up for programs, or, it ripples out into the rest of your life. So read the article. Let me know what you think. I am going to be talking more about this. The next video is going to be called Redefining Gender, which is, this topic has not been very popular. It's actually been one of the least liked topics that I talk about. And to me, it's one of the most important. It's been something that has really changed my life for the better. My business has gotten better. My personal life has gotten better. I feel genuinely ecstatic from the inside out. And it's something that I really, really believe in. And I know that even if you're not using astrology in this way, that by getting in touch with what is feminine to you and what is masculine to you within, and understanding that if you're a woman, what you're attracted to in the outside. So, when I see a guy who I'm attracted to, I automatically have this response, which is my own inner masculine. So I'll see him for, oh, he's so dark and mysterious, and the tall, dark, and handsome. That's, because I have Pisces and Scorpio combination for my inner masculine. So I automatically see men that way, even if they're not. So with this tool of astrology, I can check and see, like, oh, well, let me look at your chart. And they're usually not. They usually are completely not. I have an affinity for Gemini, which is like musicians and creative artists of some sort. They write, they're, poets or something else. But I still will be drawn to what I am perceiving to be universally loving, compassionate, dark, mysterious, intriguing, a little bit edgy, dangerous. And you might say, just by those things that I just said, that, oh, all women like that. Well, it's not true. Not all women like that. That's been something that we may have in some concept of relating. There's like little subgroups of what women like. Some like the jock, some like the bad boy, some like tall, dark, and handsome. But it's, just us basically trying to categorize and to find out what you yourself like. You just write it down. What do I, last time I was attracted to somebody, what did I feel? What did I think? What did I perceive about them? Whatever that is generally going to be your inner masculine. And we want to connect with that. But the way to connect with that is not that way. It's this way. So connecting to that within ourself and then feeding that archetype. So if you find that you're always attracted to somebody who is highly intelligent, has a good job, a nice car, they are predominant in the social structure. So one of my favorite clients that I love working on him. He's so interesting. He's an architect, a very good architect. And those things that I love about him, they're mine. They're traits that I have that I haven't fully plugged in and tapped into. So when I see that and I love it, I know that it's something within me. So normally we'll want to go out and get that, whatever it is. But what I'm saying is that bringing it back, noticing that it's you, and then finding out how you can feed that within yourself. The next really funny common thing is the woman with a normal job who works 9 to 5, and she meets the musician who seems to be very bohemian, free spirit, fun, and she wants him. She's into him. This I have been in relationships with musicians, and I see this happening all the time with my friends who are musicians, and when I was with one, they want that. But I'm thinking, like, do you really know what that means? Like, and just from my experience and the ones that I'm thinking of, it's like they don't have a ton of money. They are not, not saying that all women want a ton of money. That's not at all what I'm saying. But, it's not it's not exactly what what they're feeling and what they're thinking. And what I really see is that they want to be free spirits. They want to have that connection to freedom and fun. And for myself, when I connected with my last boyfriend, who is a musician and fits that whole role, at the end of it, I realized that he was representing something that I wanted to connect with, which was being able to be more spontaneous, being able to be more out there with what is inside of me, and talking about that, creating art from that, which I do. I make jewelry now, and that was a horrible relationship, but I did learn a lot about myself. So through doing some of this work, you don't have to go have all these maybe horrible experiences with the opposite sex. You can just start to realize what it is that you're wanting to connect with, what it is that your soul or your spirit is wanting to show you, and be able to do that without the whole thing, just being able to listen and understand what it is that this person is showing you. And I'm not saying don't go for the person, and I'm not saying that at all, because that's really fun too. You're going to have a great, either way. When I'm saying it was a horrible relationship, I really did have massive amounts of growth. So personal magnetism, uniting the inner feminine and inner masculine within yourself, and creating radiance from within. So thank you so much. Check the link below for the article that I wrote. Please like my channel, subscribe. Thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.